Welcome back to the what? What? What?
You were taking too long.
I
I'm starting going on real.
I was starting, and then I just hear things.
Then I hear things.
I heard voices.
In the time that you're trying to get your shit together, I've already DoorDash food and I'm looking at reels. Okay, I'm sorry. Get it together. I'm getting my life together.
By door dashing.
I am. I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna like it, but it looks interesting.
That's fair enough.
What'd you order?
I ordered some like bao,
Ah,
and some pot stickers.
I want pot stickers.
nice.
Get pot stickers.
I have Chick-fil-A.
You should call up Domino's and tell them you want pot stickers.
I could
Just
totally
pot
do that.
stickers.
Chris will be my old boss will be like, "The fuck do you what?" I'm sure he would send someone out here with some completely like just random ass thing that he made because we have
Pay for it.
well you would probably we have like
I
we
would.
have
Have
dough
you ever?
that hasn't. What?
Have you ever gone to a door and said "Krusty Krab pizza"?
No, no, but I have delivered to my boss before, and right as I closed the door, I told him, hey, just so you know, Chains, who was the other manager, licked every single pepperoni. See you later.
Oh.
Did he really?
No.
That would be funny though.
No, but yeah, we have unrolled pizza dough, so I'm sure that he would just be like, yeah, let me just take this dough, slap some stuff on the inside of it, throw it in the oven, roll it up into a ball, and here's your pot sticker. just dough wrapped, like pepperoni wrapped in dough and thrown through the oven. He would totally do that. That doesn't sound bad though. I'm gonna pitch it to Domino's. Pizza balls. Anyway.
So like the what are they called?
Like pizza
on.
pockets?
No, what are the smaller ones called? What are
Pizza
what
rolls?
are they called pizza rolls?
Yes, you dumbass.
Yeah, like those.
Yeah, good job, buddy.
Yeah, those things.
Yes.
All right, well, welcome back to the third reel.
I might leave all of that in.
It's the greatest intro ever.
I don't know about that.
The most
It did rhyme the entire last intro.
Well, it was the most extensive intro there ever was.
That might be true.
Welcome back to Third Wheel Podcast. We talk about things. We do that mostly. More recently, we've been doing games or little word games. Those are also
There's
games.
a distinct difference.
Or more visual style games, but very rarely, just because we're a podcast. YouTube channel, but we do have a YouTube, and YouTube listeners sometimes get funny visuals, so you should follow that if you're not.
There might have been a funny visual that entire time Brandon was trying to do the intro. Who knows?
Maybe.
I don't.
Maybe. But we do that stuff. We wing the intro every time, or at least I do. Stephen Moore planned this out last time very methodically, which is why it was probably way better than this one.
I was saying something when I was trying to rhyme that entire time.
But yeah, that's kind of what we do here. Joined by Grace and Stephen. How are you guys doing?
Could be better. Grace hasn't said a word and it's concerning.
I'm hungry.
No, alright, she's door dashing.
My heart is broken, and I'm depressed. I
Is that because
finished
you
a
don't have pot
6.
stickers?
No, yes, but and you know what, Brandon? Shut the fuck up.
God, coughs. Shut the fuck up, Brandon.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm good.
Didn't you just say you
alright.
weren't good?
You said you could be better, I
I
think.
could be better, but that's
What's going on? Is it because
um
you had to go back to Wells Fargo?
yeah. Did you even get that story, Grace? Like the full aspect of
Just
when
that you had to get a card or something because it was through your parents or something like that.
Well, no, did I tell you what happened?
No.
The follow
Just
up
that
of
you
this
were
story.
mad.
The follow up to this story. Brandon was in Discord with me because I was doing circuits, and I was like, I need to call them because before they close, and I was like, you know, Brandon, you're gonna hear this conversation. Obviously, muting myself when they asked for social security number, bank account information. I trust Brandon, but also, you don't just do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I call these people. They ask for my account, whatever, and I'm like, so we were supposed to get an ATM card a week ago. We went to a banker appointment about a month ago, and he told us that the reason that we couldn't set it up via the phone was because my status on the account wasn't good enough for me to do it, yada yada yada, and switched my account status from being a minor to be a co-owner of that account, and then ordered an ATM card for me. So I was, according to this banker, the ATM card would be on its way between 5 to 7 business days, which is about 2 weeks, and then the status of the account was that I was listed as an adult and a joint owner of this account. Uh, and I call their online help, their phone service help, and I tell them the situation, and she reads the thing, and goes, "Well, it looks like you are listed as a joint owner, but you're still listed as a minor, and the ATM card was never ordered because you're still listed as a minor, and some other reason that I don't specifically remember." Uh, and I was just like, well, that makes no sense because minors can't own bank accounts like this. This is just a savings account, and this is like a parent owned savings account. If I'm listed as a minor for Wells Fargo, I'm not legally allowed to own a bank account until I am taken off the minor list, and I think theirs is taken off at age 16 because you have a new name for that, or something like that. But that doesn't automatically change. You have to physically go there and be like, "Hey, by the way, I'm not 8 years old anymore. I'm 16 now. Let me not be an 8-year-old in your bank account, in your bank." Um, but yeah, so she's like, "Yeah, nothing was changed basically, except you're a joint owner of the account." And I was like, "Okay, well, if I'm a joint owner, we were very specific with our wording. What am I to do then for next time? Because am I able to do this over the phone, or do I have to go schedule this with a banker?" And she was like, "Well, since your account was made online, there's no way that we can access it online." And I went, I'm thinking in my head, how the fuck does that make any sense? It should be the reverse. But she's like, so yeah, you'll have to make an appointment with the banker. And I literally asked, what specific question should I ask? Because I believe I could not have been more thorough in what we needed in that appointment. And she was just like, show up there, schedule an appointment, be like, this is what was supposed to happen, this is what did happen, and this is what we need to happen. And I'm like, yeah, I did that the first time, but okay. And I was like, okay, but since you said that I'm listed as joint owner, does that mean that I can just go myself, or does my mom also need to be there? Since she's listed as the other owner of the account, and I don't remember her reason, but she's like, "Yeah, your mom has to be there." Like that I'm not the joint owner if I can't just make the decision for it. And my mom was in Alaska at this point, so I was like, "All right, can't do anything till she gets back." Fun. There's a follow-up to this story, Brandon, because Brandon got to hear this conversation. 2 days ago, my mom calls Wells Fargo. 2-minute conversation, ATM card's on its way. From the phone!
What?
Everything that woman told me was just pure BS at this point. Not a single thing that she said on the phone was truthful. Because if she was telling the truth that it couldn't be ordered, that all this stuff couldn't happen, then I don't know what bank my mom called. The fact that my mom was able to get a card and call the bank and do it on the phone in 2 minutes, just requesting an ATM card, means that the banker that we met with actually did do everything correctly, and Wells Fargo denied the ATM card from us, and then proceeded to lie about it. And I can't believe anything that happened, other than the fact that I'm going to get the ATM card. This account is literally just because I can't deposit cash at my bank. My bank is an online bank. There's no way to like go to an ATM and deposit cash onto my card. That's not how it works. I can withdraw cash from any ATM anywhere, but I can't deposit cash onto my card. So this ATM card is for me to be able to deposit cash that I have and then transfer that over to my actual account. I'm not going to use it for anything. It's just a medium so that I can do the two. So like literally, it doesn't do anything other than just hold my money for temporarily until I can move it. But
Yeah.
I've never been so frustrated in my entire life with a bank. And they've canceled my card like 6 times in like a year for buying Steam games. Like,
Jeez. Jeez.
That's also not why I could be better. My job is really boring. I'm so bored at my job. It's just fixing people's computers and stuff. And I just learned that a lot of people who aren't technologically advanced have some of the dumbest requests for fixing things. It'll be like, I'm not a part of the network. Well, yeah, because your Wi-Fi's turned off. Or like, oh, my computer isn't charging because you didn't plug it in. It's all the stereotypical like, did you check this? No, they didn't. We had a guy submit a claim asking us to install programs on his computer. That was it. He's allowed. I know that it's the government's computer and everything like that, but he's allowed to do that. So I'm so bored all the time, so very bored. I'm sad. So very bored and sad. So that's why I could be better.
Yeah.
What about you, Brandon? How are you doing?
Doing all right. Finals are over. Yeah. No, don't gotta worry about that for a couple months. So yeah, I'm chilling.
Fun. Alright. Well, if you don't know how things go around here, every episode there's a third wheel. The third wheel is the loser of the episode, because we don't have winners here, we only have losers. And that's the goal, is not to lose. Brandon
We have
was
losers.
we only have losers, all right. It's not about winning. Brandon was the loser of last episode, and it was deserved, very much so. And that means that he is this episode's decider of the topic, as the third wheel gets to choose the topic for the next episode. So, what the hell do you have for us today?
All right, so gonna be going back to more our original format.
Boring. Boo. Boo, Brandon. Boo.
Damn. Well, that sucks.
Wait, didn't I do that last episode?
Yes. No. Technically not. You had an interlude episode that wasn't interlude-y. We still decided a third
No,
wheel
no.
at the
What
end
was
of it.
the last? What was the topic?
You just said small talk. We just talked about everything going on, which would be an interlude,
did?
but then we voted on a third wheel, which is not.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about our lives. You're welcome. The way it's only been a week and I already can't remember.
Well, last week you did the riddle stuff too, and then.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Why you gotta remind me of my pain? Even though I brought it up earlier.
Yeah.
That was also really bad. That was funny though. I liked how. Yeah, you could have gone into the negatives if we actually counted every single little thing, which I tried.
Well,
but-
no, if you counted every little half rhyme that you didn't deem worthy, I even looked up some of those half rhymes on frickin'
Rhymes don't
Rhyme
count.
Zone. Yeah, they do. I've seen
You
half rhymes
never
used all
clarified
the
that.
time.
Was that okay? Was half rhymes used in the original podcast you stole from? You guys need to stop stealing from that podcast.
I didn't steal. I gave credit. I cited my sources.
Yeah. A
It's not
quick shout out
stealing.
is not citing your sources.
It's like, you try to cite your source in rhythmic tone.
You could have put it in the bio. Or
I want it
something.
in MLA, and I want it to rhyme, goddammit! If I were ever a teacher, I would totally do that one time. Your sources must be cited this way. Oh, and every single one of them has to rhyme. The
I
fuck?
think what sucks is my sophomore year, I was really looking forward to my Shakespearean insult battle. But the thing is a parent complained because her daughter said the N-word and she was worried she'd get expelled.
Yikes.
Yeah, no, her daughter said the N-word, and so she was worried if she insulted somebody else, she would get expelled. So we couldn't do it.
She was just in character. That is so
Dude, what makes it even worse is she said it hard R.
That's so funny. Oh my god.
She said
It's
no
not-
and November.
It's not funny, but oh my god.
It's moderately funny.
It's funny outside. I probably would have laughed too in person if I'm gonna be honest. It would be one of those like, I can't believe you just said
Dude,
that.
all of
kind
the
of
insults
things.
that the guys had
Oh.
lined up were something along the lines of like, it's like thou doth protest too much. Like,
yeah, the lady
it's
doth
like,
protest too
it's
much.
like, and then it's like, I cockholded thy mother or shit like that. Like literally, as soon as they learned the word cockhold or cuckold, whatever.
Cuckold,
Cuckold.
Cockhold.
I just realized what I said. I was like, wait, what? No. As soon as they learned the word cuckold, bro, like that, I knew that was gonna be all of their insults. Just cuckold.
Yeah, at we also had that, and I bleeped that out. We also.
I really
they
regret
also
letting
had
you
that.
post the name of our high school. I regret that.
You told me not to bleep it
I
out.
said,
right?
I said it's whatever, but I regret telling you not to. Is what I'm saying.
But yeah, we had that when I was
At
a
John
freshman.
Catholic Jr.
John Catholic Jr. Yeah, we had that when I was a freshman. The senior English class did like Shakespearean stuff, but she's also like a creative artsy person, the teacher, and she made them make posters which, sure, whatever, another assignment. She hung them up on the walls. So you would walk by her room, and all it would say on the wall that you can all, like, everyone in the hallway can see is "I cuckolded thy mother," and
Jeez.
the other thing was like something about pigs or something like that. But it's like
Swine.
you could see those all on the wall, and it's like, hello. That classroom was also used for girls' health. And
That makes that even funnier.
no, you want to know what's even funnier about that?
What?
Is that the girls' health teacher also had like took inspiration, I guess, from this, and was like,
What?
let's do coloring of the human body and the different body parts and different, like, the different functionalities in each, like, system. You color them to show which part is what and what's different. She only did this for one chapter. You want to know what chapter that was?
The
Male
vagina
anatomy.
chapter. Oh.
There were rainbow-colored dicks all over the wall for several months, and they couldn't
you
be
know what?
taken down because they were homework assignments.
And you know what? That's hilarious. I wish I got a color and a dick for homework. That's funny.
They didn't do that for any other assignment. From what I gather, they didn't even go over female anatomy.
Dude, I would have just made it look like an elephant or a rocket ship.
There were some creative ones, I gotta be honest, but like
Hide the dick.
No, disguise the
Dick
penis.
camouflage.
No, but the worst part about that is
I show this to another staff member and they ask why it looks like a penis, you're getting an F.
No, the worst part is that she made copies, and she didn't have a room that was designated to herself.
So she just put it all over different classrooms?
No, so when she left that classroom, she left the copies, and the next class that got in there early stole a bunch of them, and there were cutout dicks all over the school for a while. And like,
Dude.
it's so funny, but also like that you gotta expect that to happen if you do that.
That's so funny. I went to the graduation of the class beneath us, or beneath you guys, and it was tiny. The whole thing got over in like 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, because there's like 20 students in each class.
Meanwhile, mine took so long. We had to rent out the minor league baseball stadium for everyone to graduate for COVID. But oh my, what's so annoying is they wouldn't let us sit next to each other. There was like student empty chair, but I got on the end, so all of my friends got to sit next to each other for graduation, but I didn't.
That sucks.
Because like they ended the row with me and they sent me down to the next row, and so I was stuck by myself, literally with guys around me laughing, playing Fortnite on their phones in the middle of graduation.
Yeah.
So pissed off.
So anyways, what are we doing, Brandon? We're not 20 minutes in.
Make it quick.
Well, so it's story time. Well, I guess I'll tell you the topic first.
No long AI generated story.
No, not this time.
Thank God, that took forever. That took so long.
Yeah, no, not this time. We're going to be talking about times we were caught. Literally
like caught on tape.
Not caught on tape.
Repeat episode?
No. I think
Part 2 question mark?
I'm mostly referring to things like caught doing you weren't supposed to be doing, and I mean either like exactly when they happened, or you did this thing and you were found out like days or like even years later.
Interesting.
I have two stories to share for this for me personally. I can go over my first one if you guys need time to think. Or if you guys are having a hard time thinking of things for like half the, we don't do points or anything, but for like
half the credit,
half the consideration, you can also talk about times you got away with something. Which talking
So I just have to come up with 2 stories to get full consideration.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Math.
All
Dude, are
right,
you
so
serious? I have all of my interesting stories I've already used, like my cheating stories. Like I don't think I'll ever be able to top my cheating scheme in Spanish. That was like S tier on my half. I don't know.
but yeah, I have two stories. Both on different levels. It's funny enough. This first one has to do with a Minecraft server.
It all comes full circle back to Minecraft.
You're telling me now?
Yep.
It just happened.
Yeah, exactly why I wanted to talk about this today.
Wait, this isn't. I thought this was something from when you were like 13 or
No,
something.
this
It happened like.
literally yesterday.
Oh my god! You got
Okay.
banned yesterday?
No,
No,
no.
he got banned a week ago. He was banned for a week.
You got banned, Brandon? What did you do?
Hold on, hold
You're
on.
lousy. I'll suck the bagging.
Okay, so
You go ahead.
so Grace, this is on the Minecraft server that Steven and I have both been trying to get you to
That
play
this
on.
I
time
gathered
I'll
as
actually
much.
put in the description of this episode because I forgot to last time.
Oh yeah, have we mentioned this server?
We mentioned it 2 episodes
Once.
ago, and I said I'd put it in the description, and I completely forgot to, but I won't remember
Alright.
this time.
All right. So it's a just a recap because I don't remember what we actually talked about it last time. It's a townie SMP server. And so yeah, you can make like it's basically Minecraft, but you also have like jobs and stuff like that where you can earn money and get ranks and stuff like
I
that.
love those types of servers.
They're fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and so it also has an function where you can claim land or whatever for your town, so that way people don't
I
mess with
also
your.
love that. So people can stay the fuck out of my
Yeah,
territory.
so that people don't mess with your stuff.
So that you can go to war with other people.
Yeah. And so
I was gonna make a really dark American joke, but I think I'm better than that.
Like us.
I was gonna make some blanket jokes, but that's too soon.
Yikes.
Too soon.
Yikes.
I don't think it'll ever be like not too soon.
It'll always be too soon.
But and one of the main rules is that just don't take things from other people. And obviously you can't really do that if it's like on claimed land just because you're not allowed to. So I think you would need to have some sort of tool or hack or something to get through that. But there's also a function on the server where if someone just runs out of money, whether it's just from not being on for months on end or just not making money, you do, I guess, technically lose your claims just because you need. It's like there's a certain daily upkeep fee just to kind of hold on to them. It's not terribly pricey compared to like what jobs you do and stuff, but it's still there. So if you just fail to pay that upkeep,
Can't
so
escape death and taxes.
the land claim kind of goes away. And I think if your town just gets disbanded and it turns into, they just call it a ruin. So you can still kind of like, you could still weirdly like open chests and stuff like that, but it's considered ruins and sacred property and stuff like that. So that and it's a rule on the server that you cannot steal stuff from that, even though you have access
Then
to
what's
it.
the point?
It's kind of to be like an architectural thing
Yeah.
to add like a little bit of volume to the server because you can't because the ruin protection is set there as a failsafe. If someone is gone for a long time, the ruin is up for a few, like I think 2 months, and then it'll disband if it hasn't been reclaimed. So it's like you haven't been in the server, so you have to pay for your town, or if you had a nation, you have to repay for your nation in order to get it back up and running again. But like they hold on to it just in case you come back. But if you don't, then it gets disbanded, and then it's just the wilderness, and it's free game at that point.
Yeah, and I another important reason why they do that. It's on that scaled down version of the world, basically the world. And so I think that's why they do like the more architectural stuff, because you actually are in different actual like countries in the world and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what happened with me was there's also player warps you can visit that act as like shops and stuff like that. And so I went to this one particular shop and realized that the person playing must not have been on for a while, because when I loaded into their shop warp, it said it wilderness. Like, it specified it was wilderness. It didn't even say ruins or anything like that. And I can open chests and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, oh, well, I guess I could just kind of look around.
You beautiful idiot.
I guess I could just and obviously they have their little store, but then because it just wasn't claimed anymore, I could go outside and look at their home base basically, and it was a pretty cool build. It was kind of like it's their own island sort of thing. And
Is that why you raided it in cold blood?
well, and then I found their storage room, and it was very pretty. It was all labeled and stuff like that with item frames. It was so neatly organized.
Perfectly ripe for the taking.
Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm loaded in. It did not tell me this was ruins or anything like that, so I'm sure it's fine. So I proceed to just start taking their stuff. And so
Brandon, why would you do that anyway?
because they had good stuff that I would utilize, and I didn't want it to go.
Why are you taking their shit anyway?
Because they obviously had not been on for a very, very, very long time. If their stuff is just, if their land claims are gone and everything, and I'm like, okay, well, I would rather put these materials to good use because I will use them. and so I proceeded to do that. And so this might have been like, I think 2 weeks ago or whatever, but after that, I was still on for quite a few days after that happened, and I was like, okay, no one said anything to me. I'm guessing I'm pretty good. And
I'm in the clear.
Yeah, and so some of those days, some of the people would be talking in chat and stuff like that. And
was someone like, who took my shit?
No. I still don't know if this person whose shop warp I raided was even joined back. I still don't think they have. But
I don't think so.
Some other person was looking at some other guy's ruins and was asking like, "Hey, so can I take their stuff or whatever since they're not online anymore?" And one of the moderators like, no, you can't do that. You can't do that. We have tools or whatever to see who's access to whatever's chests and stuff like that. And I'm like, huh.
So
Okay.
This guy was smarter than Brandon and asked if he could commit grand theft, but was told he couldn't.
Well, why at that point would you not come forward and be like, hey, well, I didn't know that I took someone's stuff. Is it possible to return it to avoid a ban?
Because he was in the clear.
And so I was like, okay, well, they're talking about ruins specifically and stuff like that. I was in the wilderness at this time. and so yeah, so I was just like, okay, I think I'm okay. So
You think?
well, and also the time that I raided, this is like at 1 a.m. when I actually took stuff. So I was also just really tired and wasn't thinking straight.
My thoughts were clouded. My touchpick was just not there.
Yeah. And so yeah, things proceeded as normal until one day to specify more, this last what was it, last Sunday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, last Sunday. So 2 days ago since we've been recording. And I joined the server, and I click on, I load in, and then I go to, they have like a little villager guy to basically spawn you into the townie server, and I clicked on him, and I get a message saying, "Cannot connect to server. You've been banned from this server." And it told me who banned me, and then it said reason mass theft.
Mass theft?
Yeah. And then it specified first offense, and then it said it expired in a certain amount of days. So
Yeah.
it was a temporary ban.
You got a temporary 7-day ban.
Well, is
Yeah.
there anywhere where you can appeal your ban?
Oh
You
yeah, there's
can.
a server,
You,
but
you, you,
I
you can appeal the ban, but like he said, they had literal file evidence that Brandon accessed the chest
Well,
over
I
there.
know,
Like,
but you can say that it was in the wilderness, can't you?
but it wasn't, because when Brandon and because I was there too, and I walked out because Brandon hits me a message up the night of the incident and goes, "Next time you come on the server, I have things to show you. I might have committed the greatest heist in the history of Minecraft."
Did you actually send him that text?
I said, I said I've committed a grand heist.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't know what that means, but sure. And he takes me to the place, and we wander out of the shops eventually, and he shows me like the area that he took stuff from. And when you walk out of it like a bit in a certain direction, it'll say the ruins of. And I remember you being like, it never said the ruins of. It just said wilderness. So I was just like, that means this is free game.
But
Did you
yeah,
appeal?
so
No,
no, because
he
at
waited
that
till 3:43 in the goddamn morning to get back on.
Yeah, because I did the math. Because it had been a few days apparently since they've banned me, so a lot of the time was already up. So on that Sunday, I had like a day and 17 hours. They said, so I calculated it, and yeah, at 3:43 this morning, it was when it was supposed to end. So yeah, I have patiently waited until then, as one does. And I was able to reconnect again because again it was a temporary ban, and when I logged in,
Did you explain it to them so you could at least not have that on your record?
well they said that it just said warning, do not steal stuff from unclaimed land. So they were
It's a
specifying to
first
me.
offense. That's the first offense isn't like a first degree kind of thing. It's a first
It's a warning.
offense. Like
Yeah.
this is the first time you did
Yeah,
it,
the
and
first
this
offense is like when you went to juvie instead of big boy jail.
exactly. So it's like you can't just not be punished for what you did, but like we're not, like, it's your first, so like we have to ban you for this amount of time, but it's, yeah, that's just what we have to do.
Uh,
Because I never told you this until, but I can now. I got just a flat warning text when I came in. I didn't get a ban or anything. I just got a warning that was just like, "Don't steal from other people." And it was also from, Arcade, the moderator. It was like, "Don't steal from other people." So I think she saw when both of us were there, when we were on the server, when you were showing me around. I think she saw when both of us were there, and then saw that you, and then like looked at the chest logs and saw that you had opened a whole lot more shit than I had. I was just like, yeah, this guy gets the warning, this guy gets the ban.
So,
yeah.
I've also been banned from Minecraft server. It was the one and only ban like I've ever received. And that one was when I was relatively younger. I think I might have been like 10 or something. Something like that. But it was a server, and its name was dedicated to like these Minecraft YouTubers that me and my sister really really liked. And so we had like established our own town, and my sister was still really really mad because the town was named after me, despite the fact that we both co-founded the town. But I didn't name it. Some random admin did. He just liked the name better.
Fair enough.
Cause like my gamer tag for like everything is Pink Meme, so they called it Pink Town. because my sister, you can bleep this out because I don't think she wants her username, whatever. But her username is, and so P sounds good. But yeah. But anyway, I was wandering around the wilderness, and I was like, yo, I found this big ass house, and there's some redstone lamps. Like, it's made of redstone lamps. I was like, holy crap, this looks awesome, and it's not protected. I'm gonna take
I'm gonna claim over it.
which is not like me, because normally my sister like beat it into my brain, don't be a griefer. But I was
A
like,
lot of good that.
I was like, the only time I did it, because I was like, this guy obviously has enough redstone to spare, because it's a mansion. Purely
He just went
made.
in his house and took all of his lights.
And somehow, in my own idiot brain, I didn't see the red flag of, hey, maybe this is an admin's house, just based off of the sheer size of these, like, of how big this house is, made of purely redstone lamps. But I was like, doo-doo-doo, let's take. And then all of a sudden, it's just, you've been banned.
Just right away.
Yeah, well, I didn't even know I got caught until it was too late. And so, because it was a small server, it wasn't big. Like, everybody kind of knew everybody. Well, apparently, except me. I didn't know the admin. But, I didn't know my sister did this, but she got me unbanned. And I later learned the way she did it is she lied and said I was, like, autistic or something. I don't know why she would say that. Well, she just said I was, like, mentally delayed or something, which honestly wasn't that far off. But the guy was like, okay, but, like, I'm not gonna put up with this again. Like, don't, like, no, I'm gonna ban your sister
Just tell her to
forever.
stop stealing lights.
Yeah, so basically, she's like, I'm gonna ban your sister forever if she doesn't knock it the hell off. So basically, he unbans me, and I come back. I start stealing his shit again. I don't even hesitate. I start taking his shit again.
Oh
And then
my
he
gosh.
banned both of us, and my sister still hasn't gotten over that. It's okay, because the server died like a year later or something. But
That's
no,
funny.
my sister never really got over that.
That's hilarious.
But yeah, no, needless to say, I learned my lesson. I'm just not gonna risk taking stuff like that again, whether it makes logical sense or not. I learned to keep my hands to myself.
Yeah, stop touching people, Brandon.
That's
Oh my
not
God,
what.
you
That's
didn't
not.
phrase it like that.
That's not what I meant. But I learned I will not. I don't even know if I want to like be in a shop warp anymore if it's not.
Brandon got so scared by this ban that he would willingly write on a chalkboard, "I will not steal from any shop ever again. I will not steal from any stall over and over."
Wow.
Well, yeah, because no. So if I just get in a shop warp that isn't
That's really funny.
functional anymore, I'm just gonna dip, and I don't want to risk that again.
Arcade's gonna see you on and just like see you go into a player warp, and she's gonna be like, "Oh, he's gonna do it again." You see that it says wilderness, and you're like, "Nope," shuts down computer entirely. Just nope, not doing this. This isn't happening.
Well, because
So we have to mention 2 times we haven't been caught for it to count as 1.
I mean,
I think that was more of a bit.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay. So we're not doing that?
Well, yeah, the main thing is, the times where you got caught, but if you're having trouble thinking of stuff, then yeah, for the, I guess, a subtopic you could talk about is times you got away
Oh,
with
so that
something.
doesn't count.
Well, it kind of counts, but if we're considering like third
counts.
wheel stuff, we'll consider more the things that people have talked about getting caught.
Okay, I have a time I haven't gotten caught.
Okay.
I haven't gotten caught dating one of my co-hosts. Whoa! Anyway, we'll leave it to the imagination. We don't have to say.
Shot!
No. Well, that's why you brought him in as a guest.
I like how you. I don't know. Could have been Andreas.
I forgot he was on.
I brought.
It's been too long.
it has. It's been like a year since that happened. Anyway, full seriousness, I am dating one of my co-hosts, but that's up to you. I mean, I'm sure you guys already know. I mean, it's whatever, but you guys can decide for yourselves who. Go to YouTube, put in the comments who you think I'm better with. I think it'd be funny to make like a poll.
I don't know. I don't. Like I said, I said before, I don't think that I can say that I have never been caught doing stuff, but I was really good at getting away with things and not being caught with things.
Yeah,
But also as a kid, when I was growing up, sometimes if I did something that was considered like not very good, I like did it openly and in front of people. And like an
me.
example an example of this is I was at home and I was like 2. And for some reason, I'm upstairs with my parents and I have 3 siblings. I have 3 older siblings. I'm the youngest. I'm upstairs with my parents who are watching me for something. They have a safe in which they keep important documents and a bunch of other stuff. And apparently,
Please
my
don't tell
dad
me
had...
this involves a gun.
No. No, this isn't a gun safe. That's somewhere else in the house.
Of course it is. It's Nevada. Everyone has a gun.
Absolutely. Yeehaw, am I right? Anyways.
It's like a necessary like evil to vote. Like, oh, let me see your license. Let me see your gun.
What kind of caliber are you rocking? But yeah, so anyways, they have a safe that's full of important documents, and apparently my dad had some deposit in there as well. For just something. I don't remember. This story is told to me. But apparently, 2-year-old Steven is able to get into my dad's closet, in which apparently he didn't lock the safe. He didn't close the safe at all. Somehow, some way, because this safe is like not on the ground, it's pretty high, especially for a 2-year-old. I just get in there, grab $500 in $100 bills, and just leave.
Wow.
I go
Okay.
downstairs and I deal out the money to my siblings, giving I gave $100 to my brother Matthew, $100 to my brother Ryan, and $300 to my sister Mariah for being my sister, I guess. I don't know.
She's a girl. She needs extra help in this
I didn't
world.
give any money to myself. I had $500 and I just dealt everything out to everyone else.
Well, you know what?
At
least
like, right.
You were being kind.
The greatest part is that, so Matt would only be 4, so that doesn't do him any good. Ryan would be.
Gave a 4-year-old.
$100.
I was 2, so. But like Ryan would have been 9, so he would have had like the comprehension in order to be like, why does my 2-year-old brother have money? Why does he have $100? He didn't say shit. It took me going to Mariah, with $300, being like, the hell did this come from? And like picked me up and brought me to my parents like I was a football. I was like, you want this back? Also, here's your money. But yeah, like if I did something that was quote unquote bad, it was little me doing it not intentionally to be like a little tyrant. I was just like, I know that this is worth something. Let's give it to my siblings. I still don't know how I got in the safe. It's like 3 feet, 4 feet off the ground. I'm like an inch tall.
Were you like a spider monkey child? I was.
I still
was
am
really
a
good.
spider monkey child.
I was really good at climbing things when I was little, but the thing is I would get caught very often. And my mom likes to reenact this for Brandon's family. Every once in a while, when my mom runs into Brandon's mom, they'll like have conversations about like when we're little, and my mom tells this story over and over. Like I used to scale our pantry to get to like our top I don't know, cupboards, which is still way taller than I am, a full-grown 20-year-old woman. It is still way higher. I can only get to it by being on my tippy toes. But yeah, I scaled our our pantry and would like hang on, and I just scream, "Mom! Mom!"
What? Look at me!
No, because I couldn't get down. So because she used to hide the candy up high there, the problem was that I couldn't get down. So flawed execution.
I just getting caught is like weird for me to think about. Cause like, yeah, like I said, if I did something and got in trouble for it, that was less of like getting caught and more of just like I did something and got in trouble for it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of get where you're coming from. The first ever, like, quote unquote major thing I ever stole. I mean, I say quote unquote, but it is pretty major. I don't steal major things often, but or steal in general. But there was a lot of clarification there that wasn't needed.
I don't steal many things often. On occasion, I just take a really expensive thing. Just
Well, I said I don't steal like expensive things often, and I was like, well, I don't steal things often. Well, I don't steal things, period. But okay, so this must have happened when I was like 7 or 8, and so at the Catholic school I went to, we had this organization for mothers in crisis and mothers in need. So everybody would
Mhm.
receive a baby bottle, um, and you'd like put money in it, like spare change, whatever, and then you'd bring it in, and then everybody would pull it together and do like this mass donation to the charity.
Mhm.
However, I was like, part of this was like wanting to be good, part of this was wanting to one up everybody. So I went into my mom's purse and I stole like $300
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
and I put it in my baby bottle. And like 20 minutes later, my mom's like, and I'm just like,
Just a
huh?
singular word.
Yeah, she's like, who? She's like, who took it? Like, she's like, who took it? Like, she was freaking the hell out. She's like, who took the money? And I'm see, the problem is this was the very early stages of this drive. Like, granted, by the time I did it for 8th grade, we've been doing it for a long time. But this is when I was really little and we just started it.
Mhm.
And they used glass bottles.
Oh no.
Towards the end of the year, that like I think that was like the first year they realized like, oh shit, like everybody broke it. That was a terrible idea, so they traded it to plastic. But no, that year it was glass, and so when my mom saw me coming, I dropped it out of fear.
Oh.
And she saw it and she was yelling. So I mean, she was slightly less mad that I was like trying to give it to a good cause as opposed to like something like I just wanted it.
Instead of just
But
having already spent it on like candy bars.
well, no, because it was literally like 20 minutes later. Like I'd had to bring it into school, and like either way, if I showed up with $300 in my baby bottle, my teacher would be like, your daughter probably took this from you."
We're gonna call your parents.
The parents are generous, but they're not that generous. And then yeah, my mom was like, "Don't touch my shit anymore." So she's like, "I'm proud of you for wanting to help people, but also don't touch my shit."
Touch my shit again, and I will put you in the baby bottle.
Yeah. So yeah, that's yeah.
I
Long
don't know.
story short, I took stuff. I broke a bottle. Yeah,
I
that
don't
was.
know, Brandon. You might just be the only one of the three of us that like actually got caught doing bad stuff, and not just
Well,
like.
But you know what? I'm not
I,
the third wheel either way because I stole money and I got banned from Minecraft. So you know
I
what?
got another story for you.
And I'll one up it. Keep it
Well,
coming.
all right. So this one takes place when I was a young lad in kindergarten.
Ah!
Okay, I've already thought of a story from 1st grade, so go ahead.
Okay. So in kindergarten, at least for my school at John Catholic, uh, um, we as far as like punishment, I keep saying like a lot. I need to do an
As an
I
educator,
need
you're not allowed to
um,
say punishment
I
or
think you should take
discipline.
some
It
points
has to
away
be
from it.
no, we're not doing
consequences.
that this episode.
This isn't an episode based on points, but every time you say like, I'm gonna take my consideration for you to not be third wheel and divide it by 2.
Does every time
Literally,
I not say
I had
like,
dinner with
does that?
Sean, and he's like, "You hang out with Brandon too much. You won't stop saying like." And I was like, "Okay, that's nice."
Damn. Uh, anyways, but yeah, instead of the whole citations thing, we got notes home. And
I'm sure it's like I'm sure, but when you're young, you also get warnings. Like if you're,
Yeah.
I mean, or did you do that throughout all grades? But I know when you're little, there is so much leeway when you're little.
I know. I think citation stuff started in first grade, but in
Yeah.
kindergarten it was note home. But the thing is, I've actually been in kindergarten twice. The first time was my parents put me
You were
in, I
stupid.
guess.
He said, "I have
Damn.
never met a little boy as fucking stupid."
I was not held back for educational reasons. It was for behavioral reasons because
Which is really
I was
funny.
I was deemed not mature enough because I guess my parents put me in a year earlier than then again, I'm
No,
kind of a weird thing because I
no,
was born in September.
well, that's the thing.
So
You're considered a borderline kid, where
yeah.
you're born the year before, but you can really count for your grade like that you're currently in now. Um, and that's just because we have other kids like you as well, where they could be either or. It just really depends on how like emotionally mature they are.
But yeah, I ended up being held back for just because I was not mature enough, and I would
I
quote
would also,
unquote goof off a lot.
okay, but to be fair, I wish we could do that now. We can't hold kids back anymore because they're too old. Even if they like need it like academically or like behavioral wise, we can't hold them back anymore. I will say for your reason, that's super dumb. Every kid goofs off.
um,
But whatever, it's fine.
but
Anyway, I'm gonna keep my opinionated educator
the
opinions to myself.
where this specific incident that I'm going to talk about, I think this actually happened the second time I was in kindergarten because the first time, the first time like when they decided, oh god damn it, when they decided that I would get held back and stuff. I think they just pulled me off
I don't
early
even
and
remember.
stuff. I didn't finish that year, but I only say that I'm fairly certain this one particular incident happened was my second year because I remember one of the people involved. One of the people who was a reason that I got a note home was in my classes the following year going up. So unless they were coincidentally held back as well, but
My
they ended up.
question is though, is
Oh,
did you enjoy the class you like graduated with or the class above you more?
oh no, the class that I graduated with, I would take that any day. Class above us were dicks.
Wow.
You
um,
could have been one of them, Brad.
One
yeah.
of us. One of us.
You joined them.
But
Well, you never would have met us.
yeah, no,
Well,
that
maybe Steven.
I do think about that sometimes. Just like what if I didn't get held back and I was considered a year ahead as far as education wise where I am now, I
Never
think
would have been in
about
this
that.
podcast.
I think about that sometimes, but
I mean,
that's a
you might
whole
have
other
met Steven though.
that's a whole other
You
loophole. Well,
probably
yeah.
you probably would have been you probably would have been someone I knew, but you probably would
Yeah.
have never met you because Dylan like also was that conversation I had with Dylan about you for UNR would have happened regardless, but he would have said, "Oh
Well,
yeah, my
I
cousin
don't
is
know. That really,
already in CS." So
I don't know. I mean, think about it. I mean, if he had a whole different like set of like friends or whatever, his values might be different. Maybe he would have wanted to go somewhere else.
yeah, maybe if
No.
you were just a complete and total asshole, Dylan wouldn't have even like
Bro, you
mentioned
would have
you.
gone to Chico. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but when your selling point is, oh, we're the school sponsored by Playboy, that's not a selling point.
Oh, it is for some people.
That's sad.
Oh.
It is.
Well, we live in America, Grace.
Yeah, whatever.
Um, so this particular incident was actually a series of incidents that all kind of blew up in the
Series of
end.
unfortunate events.
Yeah, something like that. So,
Something along those
um,
lines.
long story short, I got a lot of notes home, and to name a few, some of it, I think Well, because the thing about the notes being home, sometimes it wasn't even just behavioral issues. Sometimes it was just something I just wasn't doing correctly in class, and I just wasn't even realizing I was doing it wrong. And they just wanted to inform my parents and stuff like that. Um, and one of the examples that I can think of is we had to do, I think, monthly quote unquote book reports. So for my first book report, I did it on this one book that I don't even remember the name of, which I probably should have, but it's basically just a book talking about the different colors, and it
It's
just talked
okay,
about
buddy. You
it just
had
talked
lots of
about
other book reports the following year.
it just talked about red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple kind of thing.
Oh, is that
And
the one where the mice like mix the colors together?
no, that's a separate story.
But I
actually.
love that book. That book was
That
so sweet.
yeah, we read that book in our library class. I think this was first grade, and she kept
No,
doing.
no. Continue on with
I'm
your
sorry.
story. Tell it
Okay.
after.
Okay. But anyways, so yeah, and it was literally just a 7-page book, and every page, aside from the intro page or whatever, was just talking about, oh, this thing is red, this thing's red, or whatever. So I did it on that. And I did it for every single other book report following that. So I did the same book. And so I'm fairly certain I got a few notes home saying, hey, I don't know, to my parents.
As a teacher, that would piss me off. Like, we would not even let them present if they did that more than twice.
Yeah,
Intro's the same the second time. Grace is sitting there just like, I've heard this before. Pulls up the other thing and it's
my problem
But the thing is like, as teachers in kindergarten, when your students do something fucking stupid, you don't even have to be subtle. When we give each other a look that says like, what the hell did they just say? Because the thing is, nobody remembers kindergarten. So you don't even have to be super subtle about it.
But yeah, my thing is that I need to do my work by myself, so I don't want to ask my parents for a different book that I have to read each time. I just want to do this on my own and keep doing this. So I'm fairly certain
a cute reason too.
I'm fairly certain a few of those notes were from that.
Before email,
tragic. I know.
I would not trust with my kids to send home a note.
Another one of the incidents that happened was we were waiting in line, and I don't remember how this started, but there's this one name, not this one name, this one child whose name I'll call him Quill. I don't know.
Quill?
Quill.
Like Peter Quill?
Not like the pen and ink kind of thing.
Freaking Marvel movies we were talking about.
I'll call him.
Call him Brody.
His name. I don't really need to.
Please do not.
Call him Banana.
All right, so Banana.
My ex and your rival.
So Bananas, as far as I remember, I just know I think he bumped into me while we were in line. Like he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't paying attention or something, and he ran into me pretty hard. So I turned around,
killed him,
and I gave him a pretty good shove. And so he was a little upset by that, and he proceeded to punch my arm. And so I got, as any reasonable child would, I punched the shit out of his arm back.
I would like to say, if you were in my kindergarten class, you'd be like my least favorite person. I hate dealing with the kids that hit other people. It's super annoying.
He hit me first.
And you know what I'd say to that? Use your words. Go run and tell a teacher.
He caught on, so I threw him to the ground. He got back up and punched my arm, and so I beat the ever-loving shit out of him. He got back up and tried to kick me, and so I just ripped off his legs.
And so I punched him back, and he punches me again.
Like any reasonable person would.
At this point, this is just a game of punchies.
And so
Let's play punchies. Let's play punchies.
Play punchies for it.
and so this last time he punches me, our teacher sees it this time. She's like, "Whoa, hey, whoa!" and she's like, "Banana, what was that? What are you doing?" and he's like, "But he hit me," and she's like, "That's it. Both of you are getting notes home." I'm like, God damn it.
You see this pen? Huh? Writing you both up right now.
And so that was definitely.
Well, the thing is like I feel empathetic for your teacher because the thing is
she's
like
the real victim.
I look back at like my own experience and realized, yeah, no, I get why the things that like upset me when I was a child, I have let go because I realized as a teacher it's so fucking exhausting. Like, who cares if someone sat in your chair as you pulled it out? Move on with your life.
All I've learned is that Brandon was a pretty aggressive child.
No, but like if like you've been teaching your kids like you need to vocalize your problems or like tell an adult, and like that's a valid option for either you choose like to have an adult step in and help you, because I have a bunch of snitches in my class. They're
You don't
want
to be a tattletale.
But it's like
cool.
But yeah, no, you're the problem, Brandon.
Okay.
I would have put you down.
Okay. Well, I have not even gotten to the good part of all of this. These were just these were just reasons why I got notes sent home. So what I would do, because I was smart enough to know that notes home, at least most of the time, weren't a good thing. And so what I did is during kindergarten, this was a point in my life where my grandparents lived right across the street from me, so they would basically pick me up from school and stuff like that. And I would stay with them
I like
for a
how the
few
notes
hours.
never came up with your grandparents, though. Like,
well,
you think
no,
that would have
no.
been like a casual conversation.
Well, no, because I didn't want to mention to anybody because I thought if I just didn't give it to them, then they never happened. So I would go to my grandparents' house. I'd be like, "Oh, I just gotta go do something real quick." I'd go upstairs, and they had a cabinet that they barely went through, and I just started shoving all my notes. Every time I got one, I would just shove it in that cabinet as like far down as I could. And it was really funny because the days that I would get notes home, especially like when my grandpa would come pick me up, he would just always be really nice and offer to carry my tote bag for me, so usually I'd let him. But then the days I got notes home, he would be like, "All right, here, I can take your bag for you, buddy." And I was like, "Oh no, I got it. I'm good. I'm good." And
your voice went up like 3 octaves.
And then there'd be times he'd be really insistent, like, "No, you've been at school all day. Let me take it." So I'd let him, and I would just be sweating bullets. And so this has gone on for quite some time. I've had quite the stockpile in the cabinet in my grandparents' house upstairs. When back earlier when I was saying that I was smart enough to know like most of the time the notes weren't bad, the thing was the way I got caught is, well, one, the notes needed to have like a written signature on them and be returned so that my parents knew that they got them. And I didn't look at them. I just knew they were notes home. And the other thing is sometimes they weren't even notes home. I would just see envelopes get put in my tote bag and assume that they were notes home. But little did I know, some of that was very important information for like other school events that my parents needed to be at to do like parent volunteer stuff. And so I was also stashing that away in my cabinet.
It's like a tuition return check where the parents have like a couple $1,000 that Brandon just shoved into his backpack.
I would have beaten your ass because when you don't complete parent hours, you need to pay like $1,000 at some schools.
Yeah, I know. So towards the end of the school year, or I guess 3/4 of the way through, there were parent-teacher meetings, and so my parents go to that, and obviously there were some conversations being had, and so um, funny enough, um, so yeah, they get back from that, and they're like, and they sit me down, and they're like, "Hey, buddy, do you have some things you need to show us?" And I'm trying to play it off like I don't know what you're talking about.
I
I don't know what you're
like how
talking.
they know that you still have them. Like you could have thrown them away, which would have been a safer option.
And I just want to, before I say this next part, they like came straight home. They didn't. As far as I know, they called me and said, "Hey, when we get home, we need to have a talk with you or whatever." Uh, they as far as I knew, they did not talk to anyone else. They came straight home, sat me down, and talked to me. They get a phone call. It's my grandma.
Oh my god.
And she calls them and says, "Hey, I don't know if you guys are busy right now, but I was just kind of cleaning out some of my cabinets upstairs,
The perfect
and
timing.
I found a lot of papers that look kind of important that have Brandon's name on it.
Oh my god.
And they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, let's just bring them on over real quick." And
Which again was a 2-minute walk away.
and so she comes over, just sits down, just stack of just folders and notes and just
Oh my
stuff
god.
like that. And they're like, and there they are, all my notes home and all the other non-note home stuff. Right there, and yeah, and so yeah, that really backfired on me. That did not work out for me.
That sucks, buddy.
And I had a long conversation about that. And so yeah, basically from what I gathered, at the parent meeting, yeah, my teacher was talking to them like, "Hey, you guys haven't been coming to these events and stuff or whatever."
Dude, they must have
And,
thought you were being neglected. Like, swear, your parents never show up. They never show up to family events. They don't volunteer. Their son constantly like reads the same book over and over for his homework. Like, dude,
Your son reads one book.
dude, if I was that teacher, I would have reported your family for neglect. Like, actually, that's awful.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was something that was a lot of little things that just added up and blew up in my face at the end. So yeah,
I will say that I guess one thing that I can think of, it's not like gold or whatever, but like it does have a bit of meaning to like its entirety. In 6th grade, I got really into origami. Origami fascinated me. Like, I don't know if you guys remember, like in elementary school when you had to take, I think it was what, ITBS testing.
That
Where
sounds familiar, but what was it again?
it was basically like the SAT ACTs, except like
okay.
it was for the younger
Oh,
age
yeah.
groups, so that they
Yeah,
could
no, I
like
remember.
monitor like their their academic
Yeah,
level. And
now we call it star testing, but yeah, I remember
yeah,
taking it.
but yeah, my the section that I always did like flawlessly. I never did any other section flawlessly. I did good on those testing. Like growing up, I was a lot like I was levels above where I should be academically. I'm not anymore, but but growing up, I was like very high levels of academic. I think as a first grader, they like my test scores were like you could be in like 5th, 6th grade and be fine. Like you would still get like a 4.0 GPA kind
They
of
would
thing.
never do that though because you're not emotionally like.
Oh yeah, but
mature enough.
I don't have the that emotional thing. But like that was where my academic level was at, and it stayed like that high, like 4
My
grade levels up until.
my favorite thing in the world is people like you, Steven, where they score so academically high, they should be geniuses. But
And
then
then you meet
talk
them.
to them, yeah. No, because normally it's like the sob story of like, I'm so smart, but like I'm terrible on paper. I love the opposite. You're smart on paper, and then you meet them, and you're like, how the fuck is this the same person?
Who the fuck are you?
Because I have a couple kids like that, and it's like, oh, what did you do this weekend? I
Nah, my conversations were always just me bouncing off the walls. Like I was a smart kid, but like I couldn't sit still, and that's called undiagnosed ADHD. But anyways, so like yeah, the ones that I always did perfectly every year was the folding ones. It like if there's a hole in this paper and it's folded this way, what does it look like when it's unfolded? Or like if there's the hole in this one, what would it look like if you folded it this way? Kind of deal. But yeah, in 6th grade, I got really into origami because the idea of people being able to take a flat shape of piece of paper and make crafts out of it that are 3-dimensional was like mind-boggling, and it still blows my mind. Like watching people like build planes and shit. Like you get a good understanding of that stuff.
if you love that, you're gonna love what Jesus did with like a fish and like 2 loaves.
But yeah, like you understand like the basic shapes. If you're trying to get something to be a specific shape, there are like specific stuff you start out with in order to get it there and get to the necessary area. But it's still mind-boggling that some guy was like, you know how we have paper? Yeah. What if I folded it? What if I made a bird out of it? And just fold a swan right there in front of you. Well, I thought it was awesome.
I've always been artistically gifted. Like I'm good. Like I mean, I'm not like fantastic, but I've always been like relatively good at like all art mediums.
Mm-hmm.
But except for watercolor and origami. And so all throughout high school, I would just send Brandon like some Instagram videos of someone doing some origami, and I'm like, here you go. This is for me. Have fun. Get cracking.
But yeah, like I would love doing that stuff, and I got really good at it too, doing some stuff. But the main thing that I built was boats. I got really good at making origami boats, especially
Not
at
like the
8th
easiest
grade.
thing to make.
There's a specific boat that everyone can know how to make, but I got really good at making really articulate boats.
Oh, okay.
Like there's a pirate ship one that I haven't made in a long time. That's super cool. And it takes forever to actually do, but I remember doing it for the first time and being so proud of myself. But yeah, 8th grade is when I really started doing it, and I was one of those kids who made a boat, put it somewhere in the school, and just walked away. I hid boats throughout the entirety of my middle school. So many boats. And we had a homeroom, but like the school was still relatively small. So like we would have homeroom and we would move around through classes, but we would always come back to homeroom. And I was in my homeroom for a good portion of my classes. So I was there for a good portion of the day. And it'd be the first room that I go into for the school day and the last one that I come out of. And so that's where most of my boats were hidden. That was like my lair, right? That was where I had my stashes. But I would hide boats all over the place. And my teacher didn't say anything, never said anything about it until like the end of the year. We had to like do that thing where you clean your desks, clean out your cubby, whatever crap. And he goes,
You just have
all
like
right.
50 boats in your desk.
No, this is what happens. My teacher stands up and says, all right, we got to do this, and we have to clean everything. And yes, that means all of Steven's adorable little boats plastered all over the room.
Oh, so he knew it was you.
Well, yeah, because I I wasn't like hiding it. I would like openly fold boats in the middle of him teaching and just like set it at the corner of my desk and look back up with like the fingertips of my hands pressed together but not my palms, like some weird like evil genius who had just done something.
I
But
love that.
I just put a boat down and I would just elbows on the table, fingertips touching, just be like, I'm gonna put this somewhere in your classroom later. But yeah, he was like, all right, we gotta do all of them and we have to throw them in the garbage. And Eric, Jake, Dylan, and I all looked at each other and went, that's not gonna happen. We
Yeah.
took all of the boats, we grabbed them from other places and hid them in other places. And one of the things that we did was there were some books, like he has a library, but like he was the science teacher, so they were all like science books. And
Yeah.
obviously the bookshelf was pretty dusty. But like we would take books that were like funny or didn't belong. Like there was a Jughead Jones book in there amongst all the different science
Riverdale?
crap. Yeah. And we opened the books and put smaller, because I made different sizes of these boats. Like I made the traditional boat, the one that everyone knows how to make, but I made them at different sizes. And one of my goals was like how small, if I kept dividing a paper in half and using half of a paper to make a boat, and then taking that one half of the paper and cutting it in half again and making that fourth of a paper now into a boat, I wanted to see how small I could get it down. And I got pretty good at it. I would say like I had divided it like 7 times and still was able to make a boat out of it, using like pencil lead as like tweezers to like do the articulate folds.
Dang.
We took the smaller boats and hid them in different pages of different books, and closed them and put them back in the bookshelf.
How long did it take him to find those?
We don't. The thing is we don't know if he's found them. So we know. So because I haven't gone back to that school in forever, and one of the boats that I don't know if he's found or not is one that I hid in a foam ball that he has, because he has a small little basketball hoop, like a mini hoop, and there's a foam ball that basically is the size of that rim. It just sits in that it like sits in the basketball hoop. It doesn't move. There's a giant hole in the back of it. I folded a boat, a regular sized boat, signed my name on it, put SS and then his last name, and dated it, and then folded it up, shoved it in the hole of that foam ball, and just stuck it back up there.
I hope that today he's still finding those little boats.
Well, he definitely will still be finding boats, because we put them in books. We shoved them in his desk. we were very specific in placings, especially at that last day of the year. We would just put them all over the place. But like, yeah, he definitely will still find boats. This kind of continued into high school. Except it was a lot harder to hide stuff in high school, because high school teachers are way more observant than middle school teachers. Middle school teachers have it rough. They hate everything. They don't want to be there. They're tired. High school teachers, they're like, if I fuck up, this generation is screwed. So I gotta kind of be attentive. We had a study hall class in which the teacher, it was a computer room, and like the first row of computers were right next to where the teacher sat. Like the desks were pressed together. But like his monitor was like a very like wide monitor, and Eric and I are sitting behind him. And in one class, we had made like, because Eric started folding these little boats too as well. And at one point in the class, we were folding like really small boats because it was towards the beginning of the year. We don't have any homework for study hall, and we're folding these little boats. And we were the back of the monitor had like small little indents in it that didn't belong to anything. Like they weren't like vents for the fans in the monitor. They weren't like openings for like small little hookups or anything. They were like mounds if like you wanted to mount your monitor, but like those are just like hookups, right? It's not, those don't go into any mainframe or will break anything. So we started putting little boats on them just in different spots on the back of his monitor, and he caught us at one point just folding a boat and like halfway sliding it into the back of his computer, his monitor. But he didn't see what we were doing, so he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "There's a hair on your monitor," and I slowly just like hid the boat in the palm of my hand and made it look like I was pulling a hair off, and I just like shook it off and threw the boat on the ground in the process, and I'm like, "I got it." And he went back to his work, and I picked it up off the ground and put it back in his boat, in his monitor. But yeah, like that was that's like the only thing that I can think of at the top of my head. But that is where the name Mr. BoatCraft comes from. Is from
What? I did not know that.
yeah,
So
Eric
funny.
and I making boats. It actually came around like my freshman year of high school. Well, actually, this is sophomore year. Eric and I making boats, and I'm making stuff. And then I made Pokemon trading cards in the style of my paper boats because I thought that was funny, and it gave me something to do during study hall. And I looked at Eric, and I was like, "What should we call this?" And he was just like, and he turned to Dylan, and he was just like, "Dylan, what would you call this fine boat craftsmanship?" And I was like, Eric, I know what to call it. And I was like, this is Boat Crafts, and I am now Mr. Boat Craft.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I don't think that I've ever actually shared that story as far as like the the reason behind why I'm Mr. Boatcraft. I think
That's
that's like
funny.
the first time, other than just like Eric knowing that I've actually openly shared that. So that's just for podcast listeners. So
Not the YouTube people.
not YouTube people. No, YouTube people
Which
can come
also
listen
check
to
out
the
at
podcast.
Mr. Boatcraft on YouTube.
Now that you know why my name is that, I've been asked that question several times, and I've
I
refused
don't
to
think
answer
I really cared.
it. Well, it's
I-
more of like a gaming question. If I'm gaming, people are like, "But why is your name that?" And I'll be like, just go to my YouTube to find out." You know?
or never find out.
But like, there's no information on my YouTube to find out.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's literally clickbait. It's verbal clickbait. It's awesome. Man, that's the best that I can come up with as far as like being caught. I was really good at it. I don't know. Or I was just really dumb in the process and don't remember it. Yeah. Grace, do you have anything else or
You had
I'm
something from the
dating one of
first
my
one?
co-hosts.
ah, she got caught. Yeah, because we are over time, but yeah.
By like a lot.
Yeah. Another mega episode.
What's so funny is
Alright,
I've been spending this
megalith.
entire time trying to fold mini origami ninja star.
Origami's fun. I could do origami forever, dude.
I could not.
I want
Anyway,
to understand it to where I can make stuff just off the top of my head. Just like, oh, you want a
That's-
dog? All right, cool.
that's like what? Like a fucking like balloon
Like
animal
fucking
artist?
balloon and yeah, that's what I was literally just thinking. Just like fucking balloon animal folding. Like, that would be awesome. I would love to be that level of just origami. But yeah. So yeah, Grace, you don't have any like closing things or whatnot? It's fine if you
Brandon's
don't.
ass.
I thought you were gonna say
What?
I'm dating one of my co-hosts again.
Dating one
Just
of my
in a-
co-hosts.
Just in the same monotone sound,
I'm
like
dating one of
monotone
my
voice.
co-hosts. Okay, I can do that. Ready?
All right.
I'm dating one of my co-hosts.
Who? All right. Well, Brandon, throw the first stone because it's funny when you go first, and you were third wheel, so I think you should.
Well, I don't like doing that.
That's why I said it's funny.
Damn. I don't know, actually.
Fine, Grace, go first. Grace?
I'm thinking because they both related to you guys. So, because I'm trying to think, because like we all related like really well. Like I stole money, Steven stole money, I got banned, Brandon got banned.
I got
You
banned
both
from
have
Minecraft
no
servers, but
respect
not
for your
for like.
educators.
Yeah, I got banned on Minecraft servers, but not because of anything I did. Like I got banned from one server because they said that I was X-raying, but it's one of those servers that you have like the ability to use like efficiency 10 for some things, and I would just run straight forward and run in areas, like run in like weird circles and whatnot, and they're like, he's X-raying. And then at one time, Randall, our intern, was playing on one of the townie servers, and I was with him, like underneath where we were mining, and he was X-raying. He told me that openly that he was X-raying, and I was like, "That's cool. Just stay away from me." And they banned me instead of him for X-raying, and I was like, were you looking? Were you looking at who you typed in? But yeah, it never was for something that I was actively doing. So.
Oh.
Anyways, who?
It worked
You had a
on
third
me.
wheel.
But anyway, that's what I'm saying. We all related really well, so I don't know.
Steven, you cast the first time.
I don't want to. I don't want to go first.
I don't know. Do I vote one of you guys who is not dating one of your co-hosts? Not it.
Not it.
Nope, you're late. You were too late.
What
What was this not it for?
I'm voting.
Oh, okay. I was like, what are we
I like how you
doing?
didn't even question what it was for.
Well, you ask questions after you know you're safe.
Alright, so Grace had her Minecraft band story.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So did I. I told that. I told one of those.
Just now, yeah.
I told one of those.
You had
Yeah.
your major boat story.
I did. It's historical.
Yeah. Grace had her climbing on stuff. Because she was a monkey child.
I tell that story every 20 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This is like a really evenly matched.
Do we want to spin a wheel?
We might have to actually. I don't think I can decide.
Well, do you have a decision, Steven, or do you just not want to go because you don't know?
Okay, wait. Okay, are both of you saying that you have no actual idea?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I mean I can like make up my
So you know
mind
what,
or something, but like
Steven, you can single-handedly choose. I will forfeit my vote.
No, I don't want to do
What?
that.
Why not?
Because this is why. Before you both shared your input on how close this was, I was like, damn, I might have to actually vote for myself. So I don't want to single-handedly vote. If we're doing wheel, I want to do a wheel. If both of you want to do a wheel.
Yeah, I don't mind doing a wheel.
Yeah.
Because I don't want. That's why I said Grace, you go. Because if one of you had like voted for the other, I was gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna go. No, I think yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna fix the spelling of your name, Brandon.
Screen share. Do it.
Hang on.
Do it right now.
I want to put our names in multiple times. Or should I not worry about that?
Just do it multiple times. Who cares?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not gonna fix the spelling of our names. I'm just typing them fast and going for it. If it's spelled right, then awesome. If it's spelled wrong, oh. Why can I only type Brandon's name right? Can't even type my own name correctly. Well, yeah, because I fat finger like everything. It's gonna spin for 15 seconds.
Okay.
Why so long?
Because I want
Suspense.
Okay, hang on. Don't worry about the spelling of like everyone's name.
Interesting.
Every single one of them is different from the other in some way, except for these two. These two are the only ones that actually that I got consecutively.
I have the simplest name.
Well, see,
the V. One that's right.
The V is well, yeah. There's one that's right for each of us. Then this one's not capitalized. Then this one I don't know is right or not.
Yeah,
this one has an S after the A because those are close together. I don't know where the hell this bracket came from, but here we go.
I'll be really sad if it's me again. Oh no! Stop! 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 Please! Oh!
Okay, that's still fair because I was the only one who was gonna make a vote, and I was gonna vote me. The wheel landed on me, so I guess I still did vote anyways. Yeah, I don't know why I wanted to just right out of the gates vote for myself, but like I just stuck with my gut throughout the whole decision making part. I was like, if any one of you just like picks a person, I'm just gonna be like, yeah, it's me. Even if that made it a tie, I was gonna be like, yeah, it's me. I think me. So fine. I don't know why I'm upset about it now. I felt like I don't know. I didn't have any story in which I actually got caught. So topic wise, I was not here today. But
You got
know
caught fucking giving money to your siblings.
what? That wasn't getting caught. That was me making a generous donation from the
In
funding of
your
my
name.
parents. Yeah, it wasn't really anonymous because I actively just walked out with it. But yeah, so you guys had stories in which like you actually did get caught with something. So it's only fair. Uh,
Wow.
who wants to send us out?
Um,
I'm busy still doing
let's,
You do it,
origami.
Brandon.
I'm gonna draw out the outro like I did the intro. Add another 20 minutes.
You're gonna appreciate the amount of editing that I'm gonna do in order to make it sound like you sound like a normal person and can talk in like fluid sentences.
Damn.
It's gonna be like
Thanks,
that AI
thank you.
thing about how they make like Obama, Trump, and
I
Biden
love
like
that
best
stuff.
friends.
That stuff is awesome. Anyways, send us out, man.
Thank you for listening. If you're still listening, that's
Off to a bad start.
that's always much appreciated. Check out our other episodes if you haven't. This season's been kind of a toss up in comparison to the first one. We've kind of been doing games most of the time. This was one of the very few discussion ones that we've had this season.
Whose fault is that?
Huh?
And I said, in whose fault is that?
All
I
of
think
ours.
it's the collective.
No.
Check out the YouTube if you haven't, because yeah, while we're on,
That's something we do.
we're on all podcast streaming platforms, right?
Yeah.
Everything except
Okay.
Apple Music, Apple Podcast.
All right. Yeah.
We're not on Apple Podcast anymore?
They wanted $20 a month
Ew.
for just one podcast streaming service.
Screw
And
that.
I was like, nah. Since most of you listen on
Screw you on
fucking
Apple Podcast.
Samsung, since most of you fucking listen on Samsung Podcast, I figured there's no point. Plus, it has separate analytics and separate. It's just
Stupid.
Exactly.
All right. Well, yeah. So we're on all podcast streaming platforms except Apple Podcasts.
Just fuck that.
And if, as we mentioned earlier in the beginning, YouTube is also cool. It lets us add some visuals. It lets us add some visuals for those who want that. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with being the third wheel unless you don't contribute to the conversation or other things that change each episode.
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, I contributed. All right, it's supposed to be targeted. I contributed. That's not targeted.
If you're nothing wrong with being the third wheel unless you can't think of reasons why it's.
Unless you're too good at not getting caught.
Yeah. You gotta own up for your mistakes. You can't get away with it. It's not good character development.
So the man who punched an innocent child.
He punched me!